Hello and welcome to what is the best modification I've ever seen for Medieval 2 Total War, and that is the Third Age Total War. And if you haven't guessed yet, it is a mod based on Lord of the Rings and the events which occurred during the Third Age and the War of the Ring. And if I'm right, I think it chronicles what happened after the ring was destroyed, but don't quote me on that. So yeah, I installed this mod because I saw a YouTube video of it and it looked pretty amazing, so I thought to myself I have to play that, and I thought why not, I might as well record it as well. So I'm going to move into the single player now. Now I've played a little bit of this mod already, and as you can see here, there is actually a fellowship campaign which does actually chronicle the events of the books and films, where you start off in the Shire as Frodo Baggins, and you gather your party and you make way to Mount Doom to try and destroy the ring. But from what I've seen of it, it's very script heavy, and if you disobey the script by doing something wrong, the game just crashes. So I'll have to play it a couple of times to make sure I don't make a mistake, otherwise the crashes will get very annoying. So instead we'll be doing the Third Age campaign, which is just playing the game like a normal Total War game, trying to take over lands, and all that's left to do is to choose which faction. Now you can play from Gondor to Rune, which is where the Easterlings come from. So we'll have a look at each faction and we'll see which one is best. So we have Gondor here. Stuart Denethor II can field heavily armoured infantry and good spearmen, so recruitment in costly units. Now, they do start off with a lot of land, a very large amount of land. I'll just turn up the difficulty here. Don't want to make it too easy. For Rohan, considerably less lands. Yeah, no, so I was saying for Rohan it's considerably less lands, and they rely on quick and powerful cavalry. And you know, I like to manage cavalry, so that this would be a faction that would suit me. But they start off up north, close to the Dwarven lands and the Elvish lands, I think. Now we have Dale, which was mentioned in The Hobbit. It's very high north. We're talking about very close to Mordor, possibly. And yeah, other than that, I'm not really sure about the unit selection for this faction. Good all-round mix of various troop types, lacks early heavy infantry type units, rare cavalry. No, that wouldn't suit me now at all. We have the dwarves whose lands are very, very separated here, and it would be a bit of a task to reunite them. But they do field the best heavy infantry in Middle-earth, which could be an advantage, but they do lack cavalry and archers, which would be a problem against the likes of Mordor and the Free Peoples of Middle-earth, who like to use archers, especially the elves. You have the Free Peoples of Eredor, led by King Aragon Elessar. They boast strong, flexible, light infantry and lacks heavy armoured units. So they have very good light infantry and they have very good archers. I think the Dunedain Rangers are the best in the game. You have the High Elves by High King Elrond in, I imagine that is Rivendell right there. I don't know what those lands are, but I don't like the fact that they're very separated. That's enough to put me off playing them. They rely on highly skilled archers and infantry, slow recruitment, and they also lack cavalry. You have Mordor, led by the Witch King of Angmar, and strangely enough not Sauron, but then again he is a huge eye at the top of a tower, so it'd be quite hard to play as him. They field masses of orcs and powerful trolls, and the orcs, they do die easily. You've seen the films and you've probably read the books, they die very easily. But the trolls could be a decent asset, but I'm not in the mood to play as an evil faction just yet. Now Now Isengard is probably the hardest faction to play as because just the lack of lands that they start with, but they have very, very good heavy infantry in the form of the Uruk-hai. You have the orcs of the Misty Mountains who inhabit the Misty Mountains, and just the Misty Mountains, and they would be a hard enough faction to play as. Then you have the orcs of Gundabad, who inhabit the most northern reaches of Middle-earth, and I'm not too familiar with these guys, but they do have snow trolls, and trolls, as you probably have guessed, could come in handy against the people of Middle-earth. Then you have the Haradrim, who boast probably the best unit in the game in the Mumakil, which are just basically like they're basically like the elephants from, let's say, Rome Total War, or the elephants that you can get later on in the game from Medieval 2. And they could be incredibly handy, but I don't think I want to play as them right now. Then you have Rune, who inhabit the eastern reaches of Middle-earth. And they field heavily armoured dragon regiments, so I don't know what they are, but they don't have decent spear units, which could be a problem for me anyway. You know, how else will I kill the cavalry of Rohan when I want to take over? But they do field cataphracts, which I imagine are very well armoured, so... Right, so after some deliberation, I think the faction I'll choose for my first playthrough of this game, my first proper playthrough that is, will be Gondor. Probably because they start off with a decent amount of land. From what I've seen, you are going to need a lot of money to get the decent units, but with the amount of lands here, that shouldn't be a problem, so let's play on and we'll see what kind of game this really is.
Gondor is weak. Sauron will strike us soon, and he will strike hard.
Right, so as you saw there, you heard a couple of extracts from the film, and you saw Faramir's men retreat from Osgiliath into Minas Tirith. Right, so we have a little welcome message here, a message from the Council. My lord, ever since the earliest days of Arda, indeed since Elfur Dwarf ever awoke upon Middle-earth's green fields, there has been a code of conduct for any leader of the free peoples in war or in peace. So great, so I have to follow rules. That's great. We, your humble servants, urge you to adhere to these rules in order to gain the best from your time here in Middle-earth. Firstly, it is considered utterly villainous to betray the financial system of the world by the use of cheating in order to gain greater profit, so I can't use cheat codes. That's great. And will no doubt have unforeseen effects. Secondly is consider cowardly in the extreme to break bonds with a trusted friend whom in the oath of alliance has been given. If you wish to make war upon an ally, you must first break your bonds with him and then only attack upon the following season. So, if I want to attack Rohan, I have to let him know in advance. Well, that's just not how I roll. I'm sorry. Unless the game crashes if I don't, then, you know, I'll have to. But if that's not the case, then I will be attacking with surprise on my side. Thirdly, it is typical for idle kings to follow the poor habit known as auto-resolve. Well, yeah, I don't use auto-resolve anyway, so, you know, it's no problem. Lastly, the use of arcane arts to lift fog of war is considered a sure path to insanity. The detected nature of world domination, so I can't lift fog of war up either. Remember, the bow campaign and battle are supposed to be played on very hard, which I am doing. If it's too easy, then I'm not doing it right. We beseech you, great lord, for refrain from the devices we won by the 10 alert. Okay, so as you've seen from that little welcome message, I have some rules I need to adhere to, except for the letting people know, letting your allies know that you're going to attack before you attack. I'm not going to adhere to that at all. It wouldn't be right. Right, so basically I will not be attacking other human factions such as Rohan or the elves or the dwarves, because, you know, I have Mordor all the way over here that I need to worry about. So I can't really be fighting a war from the north or behind me here to the west as of yet. I need to look to my fronts at the east first before I can worry about these guys. And you know, Mordor is a good faction. They will have the likes of Nazgul and does that mean what's it called? I've forgotten the name of it. It's the sister city to Minas Tirith. It's like Minas Mornor or something like that. Other than that though, let's have a look at our finances, see how we're going. Well, we are making 2 grand a turn. We start off with 15 grand, so that's very good. Okay, we can make ballista towers and knight stables, which can get me cavalry militia. We have a merchant's wharf, which can increase my trade by a good amount. We have the grain exchange. Most of the buildings are from the vanilla game anyway, so there's not too much to learn at that front. But for west of Osgiliath and east of Osgiliath, probably east of Osgiliath will be the first place that I take. And I'll have to send this here spy in there to see what's going on.
Yes, my lord.
Well, he failed to get in, that is a shame. And I don't know how that makes me a spy master now, to be fair.